In today's video, I'm gonna show you how I got the belly from this to this. So let's get right to it. Welcome back, YouTube. Looks like I got my work cut out today. So we are on the rotisserie. Just a little bit of surface rust and dirt. There is some areas that do have some coating on them like this. It's pretty soft though, I'm not sure what it is. But yeah, we're gonna take all of this stuff off, every bit of it. We're gonna clean this up real good. The exact same way we did the inside of the trunk and the inside of the floor. I'm gonna clean all of this really, really good. Get all this stuff out. Wheel wells, everything. And then we're gonna epoxy the whole thing. Get this done in epoxy. I'll probably just do one heavy coat. There's really no need for 2 coats, so. 1 coat of epoxy and then Raptor time. I'm gonna do something a little bit different with the Raptor. So I was talking with a good friend of mine, Mark, at Last Minute Customs. Mark is an Impala guru. He's an encyclopedia. And every time I talk to him, I learn something new. I was telling him that I was gonna Raptor this belly here. And what he recommended for the color for the base is to use a single stage. So in the past, all I've ever used was just base coat. And he says the hardener that is used in the Raptor will work for the single stage. And the finish itself would look a lot better since single stage has clear coat in it. So it'll have more of a sheen to it versus just doing the base coat. I already got the single stage color matched. And I got my Raptor ready. So now it's just time to put in some work. A lot of work. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this camera and get started. I didn't realize my camera had died before I started spraying the epoxy, but we got everything in one heavy coat of epoxy all the way through. Now this car had a really thick undercoating. It was like a rubber undercoat. And man, that stuff was hard to get off. I got about 90% of it off. I didn't get it all off because it was just a chore, and man, that stuff made a mess. So kind of bittersweet on that rubber undercoat. You know, sweet because there's no rust under here, so it did its job. And bitter just because of the difficulty of getting it off. Man, that was definitely a chore. But yeah, we're in one coat of epoxy. I got everything covered up with the plastic sheeting. Everywhere you don't want Raptor, you gotta make sure and cover, because the Raptor gun, it sprays like around 40 PSI. And man, that stuff will start slinging out. So you gotta watch that. Just make sure you cover up wherever you don't want Raptor. So I got everything ready to go. I'm gonna set up a little table right here so I can go ahead and use that as a little mixing station. I'll show you guys how I'm gonna mix that. We're gonna be doing something a little bit different here with the Raptor and running single stage paint versus just regular base. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's gonna look. It mixes the same way, it's just single stage, and it is activated by the same hardener you use for the Raptor. So let me go ahead and set up this little table, get my supplies ready, and I'll bring you back. So here's the kit that I got on Amazon. It's 2 of these. There's 4 jugs in each one. And this time it came with a measuring cup. Last time it didn't. It came with the gun. This gun is a little bit more sturdy than the other one. The handle feels a lot better. The other one, the handle was just kind of hanging, and when you would spray sideways, it would come off of this little pin. So it was kind of hard. But I threw that one away because I knew I was gonna get another one. But this one feels a lot better. Feels good. I had this and the pressure gauge in here. I need to unwrap it. But I got this kit on Amazon. It was about $260 shipped or something like that. Something close to there. It's 8 jugs total. So I'm thinking we'll probably use 7 for the whole thing. I hope so, because I do need one for the back of the cruiser skirts. So if not, well then I'll just buy a single small kit. But anyways, here it is. Here's a hardener, measuring. Pretty easy. I forgot to get my paint. Let me go get my paint. All right, here's my paint. It's single stage UTech brand. UTech has a long standing history with paint, you know, going back to the 50s. So they've changed the name a few times, but this is good stuff. Got my paint cups. What I'm gonna do is just pour 3 ounces of the single stage in here. And then I'm gonna open this up, pour my single stage in there, and then I'm gonna pour about 6 ounces of hardener, mix it up real good, and spray. I always mix just one at a time. And what I do in here is I'll just get a nut or a bolt, and I'll throw it in here and it'll act like a spray can. So that helps get the paint mixed up really good. So let's see what we got in here. I'm gonna try to open this with one hand. I'll try. Maybe I should have started it at least. Oh, here we go. Pretty good match. That's silver. You always want to use gloves when you're messing with this stuff. Ooh, and wear a mask. Golly, it stinks. There it is. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and mix up, set up this camera, and start working. There it is. So everything's nice and uniform now. It looks good. There's a nice sheen to it. I might have to go over a few little spots that I missed, but this is only 5 jugs, which I think is really good. I thought I was gonna take all 8 of them, but 5 jugs right there. So I'm gonna turn the car the other way around just in case there's some crevices on the other side that I may have missed. If there is, I'm gonna mix one more, and I don't think I need a whole nother one, but I'll just go ahead and spray it while I have it mixed. But yeah, I'm real happy with the turnout. It's a little bit brighter than what the camera shows in person, because the color itself is just a really bright silver. But yeah, I'm real happy with the turnout. There is more of a sheen with the single stage, you know, from what I can notice, you know, from just spraying it just with regular base. But yeah, nice and uniform. Looks good. I'm happy. So I'm gonna give this about an hour, and then I'm gonna turn it on its side and make sure everything's good, and I'll bring y'all back. Well, here's the next day. It's been drying for a whole day. Everything looks really nice. I turned it on its side like I said I would, and I didn't miss anything. So everything is covered up. It's protected, and this is going to outlast me for sure. So you can see kind of the metallic in the silver. Looks good, I like it. A little on the front here, I took off the paper. Put my tape line here, and then right there at the pinch weld, all the way through. You can see a little bit more of the silver. But yeah, that's a wrap for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and put the links to the stuff I used to strip it. I mean, really, it was just a wire wheel, a blue disc, and a purple disc. And I got this sucker down to bare metal. Cleaned everything as much as possible. There was a lot to clean on the bottom side of this car. It was just full of the undercoating, some rubber undercoating. And when I tell you it made a mess taking it off, that's just a complete understatement. It made a giant mess everywhere. But I'm happy that it's done. And probably that's the last of the dirty work for this car. I mean, mine is paint, but I mean, you really don't get dirty painting a car. It gets sweaty, that's for sure. But yeah, there it is, that's a wrap. So next off for this car, I'm gonna be building the rolling chassis. I'm gonna take this body off of the rotisserie. I'm gonna put it on a body cart, move the car over to the right side of the garage. I'm gonna bring my frame in and build it right here on the left side of the garage. Build a full roller. There's some things I have to weld on the car. So the engine mounts, they're custom engine mounts. So I'm gonna have to weld those in, have to sit the engine, center it, do all that fun stuff. I will be recording that, so stay tuned for that. And then after I sit the engine in, full roller, I'm gonna test fit it on the body, make sure everything's good, and then I have to weld in 2 extra 59 mounts on the frame. After I do that, I'm gonna pull the frame back out. Actually, let me back up a little bit. I need to make the holes for the battery rack, and I need to weld the uprights for the battery rack also. I need to make holes in the body for the cylinders in the back. And I actually have to make holes on the frame. I never cut the holes for the cylinders. So I'm gonna be doing that. I'll show y'all how to do all that. But that's what's coming next. So I'm actually gonna sit the body on the frame. And after I fit everything, make sure everything's good, I'm gonna take the frame back out and I'm gonna paint the frame. I'll do a little bit of work on the frame just to make it look pretty, but I'm gonna base coat, clear coat it, the darker color of the 2 tones, and then I'm gonna paint the car. So got a lot of work to do still, but it's gonna come quick. Everything's gonna go pretty quick because it's not hard, it's just time consuming. So the biggest thing right now is just finding time, but we're gonna get it done. This car is gonna be on the roller pretty soon. So I'm gonna bring y'all back when we get a little bit closer to that. So right now I'm gonna get after this thing and take it off the rotisserie, which is quite a bit of a chore. So I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.